This week, Parshat Parah, Asher lo ola aleh ol. One of the prerequisites, the requirements for a parah aduma, for a red heifer, is Asher lo ola aleh ol, that there was never a yoke placed upon this cow. In order for us to use this cow for its unbelievable abilities that we look for it, to be mitar, to purify all those that were tameh, ritually impure, it needs to have as one of the conditions that it never had a yoke on it, amongst others. And the Svarim tell us Asher lo ola aleh ol is also referring to, in a more of a metaphorical sense, that they did not take an ol upon themselves. They never took responsibility. So part of the limud, part of the lesson of Parah Aduma is that we must take responsibility. A Jew has to look around and to see when they see there's a void, there's a gap, there's a need, to step in b'makom she'einish, in a place where there's no man. Yishtadali isish. You have to make an effort to be the man. Step in and do something about it. Asher lo ola aleh ol, we have to make sure that there was never, that they didn't take achrayus, they didn't take responsibility. Our job is to take responsibility. That was the problem of the chet egel, of the sin of the calf, of the golden calf. And this is our kapara in a sense towards that. We must look around and see what we can do. We find ourselves in an interesting juncture in time of the Jewish calendar, between Purim and Pesach, at a time when we're approaching one of the greatest holidays of the year, of Passover. And we have to realize what is our responsibility. Many of us get to the Seder night and we're drained, and it's difficult, and a lot of expenses and expenditures and effort and energy has been exhausted in preparing for this Yom Tov, for this holiday. And we go through the holiday and we share Torah thoughts, Divrei Torah with our friends, with our family. And how do we walk out at the end of that holiday, and then at the end of that Yom Tov? Are we changed? Have we embedded our lives, the lives of others? Well, we feel good. We ate some matzah. We did the mitzvahs. We did what we had to do. We drank the cups. We spoke a little bit. Good food. Complained a little bit about the uniqueness of Pesach and what it has to offer. And we move on in life. Or do we realize that this year it's going to be something different? As we know, every Yom Tov is not just, especially Pesach, is not just a remembrance of the past. It's we live it and we go through it. And especially on Pesach, there's a dictum that we must do. Chayiv adam lirois es atzmei kihilu yatzam miMitzrayim. A man, an individual, a man, woman, and child is obligated to feel as if they themselves went through the Exodus, as if we themselves went through Mitzrayim. And as many commentators ask, how is that possible? What does it mean as if we went through Mitzrayim? We didn't go. We talk about it. We remember it. So Shlomo Volba says something so poignant, so beautiful, so inspiring, and so practical in our daily lives. And he says there's two ways, there's binyan and there's riyah. There's a certain structure. He compares it when it comes to chinuch of one's child. There's a certain structure that one has to have, and then there's riyah, that organic growth, that because you give someone structure, they learn how to be independent and grow on their own. And each one kafi, obviously, on their own individual talents. And the same thing is true when it comes to learning from the Torah. There's a binyan, which is halacha. It dictates every form of our lives, what we can do, what we can't do, how we talk, how we don't talk, how we dress, where we go, the jobs we take, who we marry, everything is dictated with the structure of halacha. But there's plenty of room to breathe. And that's where the zriya, that's where the agadata comes in. That's where the flavor, the depth of everything going into it. You jump into a Seder night, you'll come out with nothing. But if you prepare, if you learn the halachas, the shloshim yom kodim l'chag, the 30 days before the holiday, you get involved. You're involved in baking matzahs, you're involved in the buying, you're involved in the cleaning, you're involved in the checking for the chametz, you're involved in the burning of the chametz. We make ourselves his askos, we make ourselves involved in the learning, in the involvement of the preparation for the holiday, for the Yom Tov. Then when it comes to the holiday itself, we take something so much more out of it. We realize when it comes to the matzahs, when we bake, it's with an alacrity. with a speed, with an understanding of what's going on. The same thing's true in our own lives. We don't just wait for the matzah. We wait for things to happen. We push off mitzvahs so that there's time for the chametz, time for the Yetzer Hara to come in. We move. We're involved. We see something. We say something. We do something. We do a mitzvah. Let's do it quickly. Let's do it in the best, most efficient manner possible. We check for chametz. We check for our own chametz. Let's prepare now already. Are there parts of my body, parts of my cells that I should be working on? Maybe I don't like the fact that I get angry too quickly. Maybe I don't like the fact that I have this, why I look at people in a negative sense. Maybe I don't like the fact that we're jealous of people. Let me check inside myself now and let me prepare properly. So when it comes Erev Pesach, I can burn it. And I can say that I've had enough. And we go prepare ourselves for the remaining days till Pesach in that manner. Then you come to the Seder night. You come to the Pesach. It's a Chag HaGeula. You'll feel as if you're going out of Mitzrayim. You'll feel the redemption because you're forging yourself into something new. So that's the Yom Tov of Pesach. That's what we can accomplish then. But the time to prepare it is to prepare it right now. On a Parshat of Parah, on a time of taking responsibility, feeling that feeling the yoke. Let's take on that achrayus, take on that understanding, fill that need, and make ourselves anew as we approach this wonderful Yom Tov, the Yom Tov of Pesach. Have a good Shabbos.